cool are black bears from afar while you're going a safe speed. Everyone. Start again. I was going like this.
Okay.
Well, it's not going to be super awesome. Hey everybody, welcome back to Notiers Frontiers.
In this series, we travel all over the world on our KTM 1190 Adventure R motorcycle.
This is true.
We are 2 up on the motorcycle, and we have gone through the Americas and halfway up through Africa, and now we are going to the very top of Alaska.
The tippity top. Yes, this is true. We are very excited.
In the last episode, we got really cold, or at least I got pretty cold.
She got really cold.
We were in British Columbia, in Canada. It was a cold day, but we found a wonderful refuge that evening of the Red Goat Inn. We had a wonderful night, and we woke up the next morning to have our tea and coffee in the common area.
I've had a six-toed cat. I've had a six-toed cat. It's hard to say. But I did. That's why there's not a lot of them, because people are like, it's not worth it. It's too hard.
It's too hard to talk about.
But it was really cool to get to talk with some of these, Canadian men. They are like lumberjacks. They're all, Brendan Hack. Guys in flannel talk about chopping down wood with like beards,
A lot of them do have full-on beards,
yeah,
which makes sense.
And like they do manly stuff. So go Canadian men. Just a shout out, #Canadian men are pretty super.
They do seem to be pretty super.
Yeah.
And we were talking to some of them.
Yeah, and he was talking about how they're going to fly in and do this canoe trip and this, that, and other thing. And I asked them, I said, do you put all your food and everything on the canoe into the water to keep it separated from, the camp? And they said,
yeah, for the bears.
Yeah, and I said, no, we put it in bear boxes. The luxury, what I'm trying to get at is what do we do,
Yeah.
We don't have the luxury of a bear box, but they did tell us, because I told them, I said, all the trees here, they're kind of like asparagus shoots, right? They just kind of shoot up, nice and straight. They have a couple limbs, and then that's it.
It's really hard to
tie off.
Have a rope up on a far-reaching branch, because there just aren't very many far-reaching branches to hoist your food up into the tree like we have been told to do. And so we're kind of at a loss of what do we do when there's bears around, which there are definitely bears around.
And I told them that, I just string a line as high as I can reach. And, we have a big red food bag, and I'll put it horizontally so it's not just hanging down, but I'll carabiner it up. But that's as good as I can get. As far away from our tent as, I want to walk. Mm-hmm. But, one of the women, the guide, she said, well, what you're doing, which is good, is trying to get it out of the bear's, sensory level of smell. And I was like, bears can smell for like 20 miles. I think me putting it like a foot over their nose isn't going to trick Honey Boo Boo over there. But no. I think it pays off if you do just everything you can in this situation, and I think that's an important step.
Now, these river guides had some really good advice for us that I'd never heard. Well, it wasn't really advice, it was kind of like a warning.
They were fun facts.
Fun facts. Bears are attracted to
all sorts of things.
All sorts of things, but one of the things they like is the smell of gasoline.
I would say one of the things they're interested in is the smell of gasoline, because it smells kind of sweet, which, if you think about it, that's kind of right,
Yeah, I guess so.
Never tasted it. I think a bear would be disappointed, but
Yeah.
we would have already lured it there.
Now, if it's just normally in your vehicle, that's usually not attractive to the bears.
Yeah.
But when you have an external canister of gasoline, as we do,
Yeah.
we have our extra gallon on the motorcycle, and we have our little
MSR
1 liter
stove.
MSR stove canister of gasoline that we keep.
Both of which leak constantly because, you know, the bike
Yeah.
is bubbling around and the pressure will build up to and spit out.
Exactly. So, I mean, yeah, they smell like gasoline, and
Yeah.
that can be attractive to bears as well.
And we parked that right next to our tent.
So this was good information for us to know, you know, keep the motorcycle and all of the gas canisters
Yeah.
away from the tent, and just make sure that everything that the bears are interested in is away from you sleeping at night, and I guess that's the best that we can do.
Yeah.
But it was very good advice. Good morning, everyone. I want to show you this gorgeous view. We're here at Red Goat Lodge, right near Iskut in British Columbia. And look at this. Wow. Mountain and the lake, you can kind of see the very top of the mountain if you look very closely up above the clouds. It's not supposed to rain today, which I'm very excited about. So Tim and I are just going to pack up and head off. So from Red Goat Inn,
We said goodbye to the six-toe cat. I have to mention it one last time. It was a very cute cat.
yes, we said goodbye to the cat and headed on down the Cassiar Highway,
Yeah.
which was going to take us all the way to the border of the Yukon that day.
Indeed.
Today's journey is hopefully going to bring us to Upper Liard, which is right across the border from British Columbia into Yukon territory. So that just sounds cool, right? Like we're going to the Yukon. So we've been traveling through British Columbia, which is a massive province of Canada. I guess Canada has a lot of really large provinces.
They're mostly large provinces.
Like British Columbia just seemed to go on and on and on, but it was
Sure
very
did.
beautiful.
was
And
amazing.
the weather had turned out to be perfect that day.
Yeah, we were nailing the weather, man.
Except for the day before.
Except for, but like overall, on an average,
Yeah,
we are
that's true.
doing pretty good. Knock on plaster. You know?
Yes, that is
But,
very true. We stopped for lunch at a place called the Tin Rooster in a tiny little town. And
Before we got there, though, we saw that black bear chilling on the side of the road.
yeah.
Oh, how cool are black bears from afar while you're going a safe speed.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
So we're going down the road, and we're always hoping to see wildlife, especially bears from a distance.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, there's a bear right in front of us. And
Yeah.
it wasn't at a very safe distance, but we were like, oh my gosh, this is so cool, this is so cool. We
Yeah.
slowed down.
The
and he's
road's
just
only, like-
right in the road.
The road's 15 foot across. I don't know, I'm making stuff
Yeah.
up, maybe 20 feet. But like, it's on one side of the road and we are on the other, and we respect each other. You know, we're friends at this time. He knows I'm
Yes.
kind to cats and other animals, and I know
Does he know that?
he's a berry bear. He's just chilling. He's doing his thing, we're doing ours. And yeah, we passed him and I said, "Hey bear, you
That's
are
right.
you are a beautiful creature."
Yeah, it was a really special moment.
Yeah.
Definitely was a big highlight for us traveling through Canada. You know, of course, we wanted to see
Yeah.
bears. And what cooler thing for a couple of motorcycle travelers than to see a bear right on the side of the road while you're on your motorcycle? It's just
Fantastic.
kind of perfect.
This
yeah.
is true. Yeah. So we went from bears to tin roosters.
That's right. So we go to this little town, and they have a place to eat called the Tin Rooster. If
It's a grocery store.
Yeah, it was really just a grocery store.
Some tables, but it's the best
Right.
food in 500 miles.
That's right.
Only place in 550 miles.
We met some fellow travelers, which was nice.
Yeah.
And from there, we headed on down the road to the next roadside attraction, which was Jade City.
Oh yeah. It said free coffee, and I
Yes.
was like, don't know what this place is, don't really care, but I need some go-go juice.
It's called Jade City, and I thought, okay, it's a city.
Yeah.
But no, it's not a city. It is a building.
With a bunch of other ramshackle buildings around it.
So this is all jade. From one side, it looks like a normal rock, and they usually weigh it to find out if it is heavier than the other rocks. And then you can also break it open to find the lovely jade inside.
But
Yeah, but they have
had
free coffee.
That pulls me in every time.
They also had free tea, both
This is true.
caffeinated and herbal tea, and free hot cocoa.
This is true.
Free coffee.
And so I have my cup of coffee. I'm looking around. There's some cool stuff. When we get to talking to this German guy, Jonas, he's like, where are you guys from? And we're like, the States. And he's like, that's why you don't know what Jade City is. And we're like, why? What's Jade
Yeah.
City? It's pretty much the equivalent of like Discovery Channel's, Gold Pickers or
Yeah, so it's called Jade Fever.
Jade Fever.
And it is a show that is obviously based in Canada, but it is broadcast in over like 70 countries in the world, but not the United States, because there was some dispute between providers or something like that. But yeah, it's like one of those Discovery Channel reality shows.
And so as we're sitting there, like other people are coming in, they're like taking pictures and they're like, "Oh, you one of the cast and crew?" And he's like, "No, I am not." But they're like, "This is amazing! I can't believe we're in J City." And and I'm like, drinking my
is
free
this?
coffee. I'm like, this is quite interesting. But
Yeah, it's actually really famous. This is a jade mining area. Jade is a beautiful stone that is also highly prized. It comes in mostly green, but it can be in all sorts of different colors.
Yeah.
And they have been mining it here, this particular family, for a very long time. And the show is based around their mining exploits.
yeah, so it was really interesting. He gave me like a piece of jade and said, try to like break it.
Like everybody's so careful with jade. I'll show you something else. Something like that.
Jade is the toughest stone on earth, so it is impossible to break, even though it looks like, maybe not me, but someone should be able to break this.
And like, it's
Yeah.
just this little tree bark looking piece that was real thin. You can see the light through it. And I couldn't break it in half for the life of me.
I know. Wow.
That's
It
crazy.
hurts, right? You were like pushing the table.
Yeah.
It is still very highly prized in East Asia, especially in China, where even the characters for China includes a character that means the Jade Kingdom. So
Fun
Jade
fact,
is a
you
very
just learned something accidentally over here. Welcome to my life. I'm always like, oh, there's a fact.
Yeah, so jade is a big part of their identity, but it's also just a beautiful stone that people appreciate all over the world. Yeah, it's super smooth. it was really cool to see all the things that they made out of jade in this place. They had like door handles out of jade.
They made this little dabber dude.
I don't think he was doing the dab.
He was doing the dab.
So, Nukshuks. They're showing directions. They're from up north, like northern BC, Yukon. In the winter time, there's no sunlight up here. Most of the time you can't see the stars, so no way to navigate to like see where north or south is. They used to mark trails with those Nukshuks and show directions.
He's like a Native American symbol for marking the way or path.
Because sometimes the sun doesn't rise nor set.
So it's very hard to tell which direction you're facing.
Yeah.
And
so
also,
they made all these dudes like, go that way.
Yeah, and then the snow would rise quite high. So these would be very large kind of
They'd
statues.
be like stone golems that would, point the direction to where you're supposed to go. So that was really,
awesome.
Really cool, yeah.
Guides the Way is called In the Image of Man, and it is a compass or guide.
Oh my God, he let me like hold one, and he said,
so heavy,
insanely dense.
Yeah,
it's like me. It's just, I think I'm jaded. Just to be quite honest.
Pounds.
Thank you for
34.
Wow, 34.2.
Wow.
It was
really
a fun
cool
pit stop. It was like a school field trip that I didn't know we were going to go on. And we pulled over for free coffee, and then here comes, quote unquote, the History Channel.
I know, and the weirdest thing about it was all these other people coming in, being like, "Oh wow!" Like this was what they came to see.
Yeah.
Was this place that had been on television for so many years and still is on television. I guess it's a bit like us, meeting the American Picker guys or
cool.
Pawn Stars.
I think it's like Gold Rush. American Pickers, they're cool.
Kind of celebrities, so that was really awesome. And what was really exciting was that evening, our destination was going to be a new province of Canada, the Yukon, which just has a very cool ring to it.
It does. I often call it the Yucatan because I'm special, we'll say. My mom says I'm special, and so I'm going to stick with it. So, yeah.
You are.
Yeah.
This one campground and thought, oh, this is really beautiful. It's right next to this lake.
Yeah.
The weather was really nice. But as we got off the motorcycle,
the spawning air zone of all the mosquitoes in all of the northern hemisphere.
Even with our new mosquito gear, it didn't matter. I mean, it took us 5 minutes to be like, we can't be here.
And I just drank 4 gallons of coffee over at Jade City. It needed to.
Like, we can keep going.
I needed to use the potty. And that was a dangerous Navy SEAL operation of whatever.
Wow, I didn't even think about that. I didn't realize you were struggling that much.
Oh yeah. No, I had to pee, but it was I didn't want to expose.
Attacked.
Yes, it was crazy. So we quickly said X-nay to the lovely campground.
So we decided to head on, but our major concern was every single campground
would
is
another one be better? Yeah.
This same problem. Are we going to have to just go forever or dish out for another hotel room, or will we be able to find a place that we can be comfortable at? So that will be in our next episode.
Did we?
But I hope you liked this one. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below. Ding ding. And we'll be seeing you next time.
Stay safe, everybody.
Bye.
Peace.
So from Redcoat.
Wait, where were we?
So from Redcoat Inn, we.
Yeah, we did. We told them about the jade litho. What did you call it? Litho, where they cut stone. Lipo. It's not liposuction.
Well,
There's-
lapidary.
Lapidary. I was so close with liposuction. Like the states were like little onions, and you know, we don't have to say that. The states were like, you know, a fine chopped. Nope. What are we going for here?
I have no idea.